Was tonight's Canton Select Board meeting fire? Yes. Were all the speakers fire? Yes. Was this the kick in the ass that these leaders and people in power in Canton needed to realize that Chris Albert must resign? I hope so. Take a listen.
Share with you an interaction I had this weekend with one of your elected officials, Select Board member Chris Albert. I believe the community deserves to know exactly how he speaks to residents and why it matters. On Sunday, I received a phone call from a private number. When I answered, the very first words I heard were, "What's your effing problem?" And I'm going to edit out the swears for the public and people at home. That set the tone for what became a heated exchange. Mr. Albert went on to call me words, "effing loser," "see you next Tuesday," "a bully," "a coward," and among others. He continued to try to goad me to come back to Canton, to come back to Matt Kelly's and face him like a man, "you effing loser." This all stems due to the fact that his son saw me while walking on Washington Street and gave him misinformation and disinformation, claiming I was at his house. He asked me if I was recording the call, as if he knew how inappropriate his words were. I wasn't recording the call, but I was taking notes. I advised him I wasn't. So I advised Mr. Albert I would not be driving back, and I was busy. I offered to discuss it after 7. That's when he accused me of bribing the chairman, you, JR, of trying to come on our show. I have called you, I've asked you to come on the show, just like I've asked everybody else. I've never bribed you. I've never offered anything, other than we will honor your wishes if there's something you want to speak to. He threatened my livelihood, saying he knows all about my job, knows the owner, and questions why he still employs me. He called me a bully for reporting on his son's participation in the destruction of a house. But that house belongs to a friend of his, and they were paid back, so all's forgiven. He asked why I hate him, and I told him I don't hate you. The conversation only got uglier. He accused me of sending inappropriate pictures to my stepdaughter. The actual words, dick pics. A lie that's beyond disgusting. He claimed he had spoken to my ex-wife, who's here tonight, which is another lie. He ended the call by telling me, "Why don't you go into the bathroom, shave your effing back, and go F yourself?" Now, I don't share this lightly, but the people of Canton should know how a sitting select board member conducts himself when he thinks no one else is listening. This is not leadership. This is not integrity. And it certainly wasn't the behavior of someone representing the town of Canton. I'll close by reminding the board of the rule that's usually stated at the beginning. This is not a back and forth. There'll be no rebuttal from members after a resident speaks. And I ask that this rule be strictly enforced tonight and let Mr. Albert absorb that. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I lived in Canton for 24 years, and never once during that time did I speak to Selectman Chris Albert. That is why I was disturbed to hear that he recently claimed otherwise and that he tied my name to an untrue and damaging accusation. I want to be clear that what he said was false. Beyond that, an elected official has no business inventing stories about residents. It is not only reckless, it is unbecoming of someone who serves on this board. I would ask that Mr. Albert refrain from speaking untrue statements about me, especially my daughter, my family, my ex-husband, anyone, myself, my family, anyone in this town, in fact. Words carry weight, and when they come from someone in this position, they can do harm. So I would hope that Mr. Albert would take the time to absorb what he's heard and reflect on whether he is truly fit as a select board member. Thank you.
2 nights ago, my stepfather, as you heard, was on the receiving end of a phone call that truly does disturb me, as my mother also just said. Jonathan grew up here in Canton. He has strong ties to the community and family that currently resides here. Mr. Albert contacted my stepfather on his private cell phone, enraged that he was in Canton. Mr. Albert, not only did you take it upon yourself to express your distaste for his presence in a town you feel he has no place in, but you once again attacked him with false accusations. Among the vulgarities that I will not say today for the sake of the room, there is one thing that I must speak on, which is the, did you send any more D pics to your stepdaughter? To be clear, this is a blatant lie. Any accusation of the like is a blatant lie. I'm here to right a vicious wrong that has been ongoing for years, because regardless of the accusation being entirely false, it's incredibly dangerous. Defaming my stepfather's character has led to continuous harassment from countless people for years now. From not only those who either believe it to be, who believe these heinous accusations to be true, or to just use it against him because it fits their own agenda. Once these things are said, they cannot be taken back, especially from a person in a position of power. Perpetuating these lies with the intent of tarnishing my stepfather's reputation is only an act of cruelty. These accusations can stick with a person for the rest of their lives. This situation is clearly escalating when a person in a position of authority is contacting people on their personal cell phone for the sole purpose of harassment. Even more worrisome, people are alerting somebody of my stepfather's location. How did this person know? Why did they feel the need that they needed to tell him? This raises an actual concern of safety.
Brenda Sweeney, Canton, my opinion. To quote Ellen Jackson, the days of Karen Reed being on the defense are over. The investigation into Officer John O'Keefe's death was a massive law enforcement failure. They're suing 10 parties, including the Canton police. We'll be all over the news for years to come. That guy in the white SUV who rode by our protest a few weeks ago shouting, "Enough already." Tell that to our local murderers because this isn't going away, not by a long shot. You didn't get the verdict you wanted, but you did breathe a sigh of relief when you thought your buddies scraped by. It's time to get your eyes off the rearview mirror. We saw a small snippet of the DOJ evidence in the criminal trial. Lots more will see the light of day as the civil trial brings the spotlight back to Canton. Let's hope it exposes the truth once and for all, and those disgusting people who threw Officer O'Keefe out like the trash get their just desserts. Those of you that don't want to see the truth because you don't want your world to change, not facing hard choices is a surefire way to become a casualty of something you didn't create. As for those who don't care because you weren't involved, indifference helps these murderers, and your silence is deafening. Some people in Canton can't talk out of fear for their safety. What I don't understand is the other people who knowingly help the murderers escape justice out of misguided loyalty. You do realize glossing over their lies tarnishes your own credibility. They won't be satisfied stopping either. They'll come back for more. They know exactly how to exploit you. Stop long enough to think about the world you're creating. You put your very own loved ones at risk by making the world a safer place for murderers. Civil suits will bring a Category 5 storm to town. When it hits the fan and the murderers can't hide anymore, don't be surprised if they throw you under the bus to protect their own hide. You're simply a means to an end. Once you're no longer useful, you'll become disposable. Ask Miss Kelly Dever, whatever. She protected murderers while destroying her own career. A total disgrace, especially to her chosen profession. She could have been a Barrows. Instead, the whole world knows what it means to be a Dever. I wonder if that'll make it into the dictionary. Take a long, hard look in the mirror. We know how the world will remember Kelly Dever. What about you? Will it be integrity, or will you be another casualty in this cascade of poor choices? Any one of us could be their next victim. We have a new chief with integrity. It's time to start speaking out and get that monkey off our backs. It's our chance to right this ship. We'll be back until we get justice for Officer John O'Keefe. Thank you.
Honestly, though, bottom line, these people really are dangerous. So for these people to stand up and speak weakly against them, make sure you keep them in your prayers, because people are getting desperate. And as we can already see, they don't take human life as a prized possession, like most of us do. Just another obstacle to some, especially the powerful, people with means, to shut people up.